गुड मॉर्निंग मैडम।
मॉर्निंग सर।
नमस्कार।
कैसे हैं सर आप?
बस बढ़िया बढ़िया, फर्स्ट क्लास।
ठीक है सर, बस शुरू करते हैं।
हाँ हाँ प्लीज।
Good morning, respected Dr. Indu Arora ma'am, the Vice President of IIC of College, Professor Rajkumar, our resource person, teachers, and my dear students. We have gathered here online for a workshop on entrepreneurship skill, attitude, and behavior development under the aegis of Institutions Innovation Council, Ministry of Education Innovation Cell. Mahajan DAV College for Women, Chandigarh, is a landmark institution in women's education in North India. The college has been re-accredited with Grade A by NAC. Institutions Innovation Council has been set up under the aegis of Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell to encourage, inspire, and nurture young students by supporting them to work with new ideas and transform them into prototypes. IIC at MCM has received 4-star ranking in 2019-20 and 2021 for its IIC activities. The main objective of IIC is to conduct various innovation and entrepreneurship related activities in collaboration with academicians, entrepreneurs, investors, professionals, and create a mentor pool for student innovators. Our resource person for today is Professor Dr. Rajkumar Singh. I welcome you, sir. Sir is an MBA, PhD in Commerce, NET qualified in Management, and has various PG diplomas in the field of export management, journalism, and mass communication. He has a huge biodata. To name a few, he is a professor, member of Academic Council, Dean R&D, Head of Department of Commerce of SMS Varanasi, Chairperson of Center for Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Skill Development, Chairperson of Center for Advanced Research and Development, Chairperson of Board of Studies, Chairperson of Center for International Relations, and many such prestigious organizations. He has around 30 years of academic and industrial experience. Sir is also an advisory board member of International Startups Mentor Team of Foundation of Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development of IIM Kashipur, advisory board member of International Center for Business Research and Innovation of KIIT University, Bhubaneswar, panel member of Mentors in Startup India of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India, Coordinator of National Innovation and Startup Policy of Ministry of Education of Government of India. Professor Singh is an expert on areas of entrepreneurship development, startups, incubation and promotion, design thinking, innovation management, green entrepreneurship, IPR for startups, quality management system, to name a few. He has been honored by various awards and accolades for his contribution in these fields. Professor Singh is also a professional consultant and helped various industries in Eastern UP, Bihar, and Jharkhand to establish from scratch. Till date, Sir has produced around 100 startups in various sectors. Sir, it's an honor to have you amongst us. Now I invite you to start the workshop.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much for inviting me. And this is the second time I'm here in your great institution, Mahajan DAV College for Women.
Yes, sir.
And I've been very much impressed with the kind of work your great institution is doing.
Thank you, sir.
The topic which has been selected, the entrepreneurship, skill, attitude, and behavior development. It's a very pertinent topic because normally we talk about the hard part of the entrepreneurship, but not the soft part. Skill, attitude, and behavior is related with our mindset. So it's a very pertinent topic. And obviously, this is related with our thought process. This includes the design thinking, the critical thinking, the innovative designs, and all these things. Before starting my deliberation, I will tell you a very true story of my life. And then I will come to the topic. You can understand that. Because any entrepreneur needs to be a keen observer. Those who are of my age or around my age must be knowing. In my childhood, there was a Tata coconut oil. Tata was the company, they were having a coconut oil. And they were coming in the hard tin pack with a very hard aluminum sealing. And I remember that my late mother used to cut that hard sealing with knife and her fingers got wounded. But there was no other option because earlier days the coconut oil were sold in loose form. First packaging was done by the Tata. The time was passing on. And all of a sudden, on one day we have observed that one company, Marico Industry, with a brand name Parachute Coconut Oil, they have come in a plastic container with a narrow mouth. And all of a sudden, the entire scenario has changed. Now you don't need to cut the hard aluminum sealings. Just you have to open the cap and take the coconut oil. Overnight, a replacement has been discovered by the people. And people started shifting from the Tata coconut oil, the great giant, to a very newcomer company, a new startup at that time, Parachute. Now from here, the innovation journey has started. When the winter season has come, as you all know, the coconut oil is having a nature of getting hardening. So they just changed the packaging and created a wide mouth jar, plastic packaging. And it was easier for anyone to take the coconut oil, although it was hardened enough. When again the summer season has come, this has created again issue because if you wish to have few drops of coconut oil, it comes out of proportion because the mouth of the jar was quite wide. So they just created a small mouth in the wider cap, means a smaller cap in a wider cap, which is prevailing today now. And what happened? Over a period of time, the Tata coconut oil was sold to the Hindustan Lever, and now you are not seeing this product. And Parachute coconut oil is still the brand leader. Why I am saying so? In India, you must be knowing that 90% startup got failed in 5 years. And when it comes to 10 years, 99% startup that failed, in spite of the fact that so many things are being done for the startup ecosystem. But we need to understand this story, real-time story. They have not changed the coconut oil. You cannot change the coconut oil. Coconut oil is a coconut oil. But here, see, a gradual incremental innovation took place, and a big giant company, Tata, was replaced by a newcomer, very small company, Marico Industry. You can also do that. But again, I'm coming to the main topic of the today's session, your skill, your attitude, and your behavior. This is very important point. And that's why innovation is important. Majority of cases why they get failed is that they just get some money, have some idea, and they start their business without understanding whether their product is innovative or not, whether their services are innovative or not, or whether they are going to solve the problem of the customer or not. Remember, as a customer, we all buy a product and service, but actually we buy a solution. Any product or service which is providing a solution, we buy it first. If the product and services are not providing a solution, we don't prefer that. So innovation should give us solution. Innovation can be of any kind. It may be a technology, it may be a product line, in a segment, a method of production, a process of production. I'm giving you another example. It's very talked about nowadays, the Tesla. Tesla, although this car has not come in India, but yes, there's a lot of discussion about that. Here, the problem is of two kinds. Not only that the conventional fuels are getting reduced, and it is estimated that after a certain period of time, you will not have that kind of traditional fuels, the conventional fuel. So you'll have to be based upon the non-conventional resources. This is one aspect. Second aspect, which is very important, is the environmental aspect. Because when we talk about any development of the innovation ecosystem or a startup ecosystem, we need to work on the triple helix model. The industry, academia, and government need to work together, keeping in view of the society and environment. But we need to think about that innovative ecosystem. When they have announced, the Tata has also announced that they will come with an electric car. It is estimated that the Tesla will comes to around 35 to 40 lakh rupees, although they are requesting for the reduction in the taxes and all these things. Different issue. Government is saying that, okay, you have to manufacture here in India, not that you manufacture in China and you just assemble over here. That's a different issue. Tata has declared that, okay, their car will be around 10 to 12 lakh. Now, electric car is not important. This is one aspect. The most important aspect is that you need to have a sufficient electric charging stations. Tata has also announced that 40,000 electric charging stations they will make. Not only that, there is an issue that normally it is assumed that it will take 20 to 25 minutes to recharge the battery, car battery. So they have to take care of the time also, because normally when we take fuel in our car, the fueling time is not more than 2 minutes. Leave that time which you stand in the queue. So 2 to 3 minutes is enough. So they are going to create those batteries which can be easily replaceable. So you give them an empty battery, they will give you a fully charged battery, and they will calculate the cost accordingly. Now, in this example, what I'm saying, that with an innovation, you need to understand the consumer behavior also, how consumer is thinking. Sometimes you get failed to understand that, and big companies also got failed. Take the case of Tata Nano. Excellent example of innovation, no doubt. But they have failed to understand the aspiration of the common man of India. Still, in India, car is not seen only as a necessity, but to some extent a luxury also. When a car comes to any home, if you are not having the car earlier, they should feel proud about that. So all these aspects we need to understand before going for the entrepreneurial aspects. Although at present the situation is good enough, I will quote one data with you that in 2014, one global innovation index, which is being released by the WHO World Bank every year, our position was 142 out of 190 countries. Now, last year, this position has improved to 63. So earlier, 141 countries were ahead of us. Now, 62 countries are ahead of us. This year, some controversy took place because China was pressurizing World Bank to upgrade their World Ease of Doing Business index. So this year, the index has not been released. But this means we are going in the right direction. But still, we have to pass through a long way because country like India should be at least in top 5 or top 10 countries in the world. But yes, so many things are going on. On innovation front also, our position has improved from 130 in 131 countries. Now our position is 46. Earlier it was 5-6 years back. This position was 105 or 106. So position has improved. But problem is that you must be knowing that in the global innovation index, the index is being measured on the basis of the number of patents filed by us. So no doubt, with the government support and cooperation, the number of patent filing has increased. And every day we see on the Facebook and social media that some professor is filing a patent and they are getting the patent also. It's okay. But darker side is that out of 100 patent, on an average, less than one patent finally convert into a product and comes in the market. Then where the rest 99 patent goes? It is simply on record. So what will be our innovation position? Issue is that we must understand that only making a thing different is not innovation. It should solve our problem. Whether that patent has solved the problem of any industry, any individual, any society, any environment. If it is not, that's of no use. So we have to understand these things and develop our skill, because a skill is a bigger issue here in India. If you go through the different data, whether it's SOCM, whether AICT, if I go only on the higher side, it is said that only 20%, even less than 20% people are employable, rest are not employable, rest are just having the degrees. Because we don't have a required skill set. It is assumed that by 2030, nearly 50% of the existing skill sets will get obsolete. Just I will take one example of the drone technology. Earlier, we are thinking the drone technology only in terms of the Army, Air Force and all these things. But now you are using the drone technology in the agriculture fields to spray the insecticide and pesticide. Even it has entered in our home also. You may have seen the marriage functions. Earlier, the person were having a video camera in their hand and they were doing the videography. Sorry. Now, instead of having a video camera, they are having the remote control of that drone, and now drone is doing this videography. So situation has changed. Your skill set has changed. Where knowing the videography is not important. You should know about how to control that remote. So we need to think in this direction. We need to change our attitude in this direction. We need to develop that kind of skill direction, and we need to understand the consumer behavior accordingly. If you are unable to understand the consumer behavior, you are not going to face success in your entrepreneurial venture. Any kind of innovation, whether it's a product innovation, whether it's a service innovation. Here I would like to mention that we focus more on the product innovation, but less on the service innovation. We need to focus on that part, because service innovation is related with the behavioral dimension. Product can be easily copied, but copying a service is a tough task because service is being delivered by a human being, and every human being is having a different behavior, different attitude. And as a human being, you can better understand the human behavior of others, attitude of others. So if you differentiate yourself on the service front, because nowadays service is an integral part of product. If you are having a product, the delivery mechanism involves the service aspects. And on the basis of this, you do the business model innovations. Why? I'm giving you an example, and you can understand that. You all must be purchasing products from e-commerce modes through Amazon or Flipkart. How they got success? They got success on 3C model. What is that? First C is the choice. On these platforms, you get enough choice, which you normally don't get in a physical stores. You are having a convenience to order. The product is being delivered at a doorstep without you have to move in the jams and all these things. And since there is no middleman as such, the cost is also reduced. So not only that, this has developed a B2C, this has developed the B2B also, because micro entrepreneurs are being developed on that platform. So these kind of aggregators are very important, because they have understood the behavior of a consumer, that now you want convenience, now you want more and more choice, and now you want to save your cost also. So accordingly, we need to do the process and technological innovations. We need to change our organizational dimensions also, because organizational innovation is also very important. And on an entrepreneurial dimension, one of the very prominent aspects is the social innovation. You must have heard the term social entrepreneurship. Here again, you have to understand the behavior of the society. I will give you one example of the Sulabh International. Must be knowing it as the name of the Sulabh Shauchalaya. 40 years back around, when Dr. Bindeshri Pathak has started this venture, he basically belongs to Patna in Bihar. People were laughing on him, because this is a socio-psychological problem that we all suffer from certain taboos. We don't want to discuss those taboos, although it is the fact, it is the reality of our life. Everybody was knowing that this is a biological need, but no one was talking. Even he was boycotted socially. He was said that you belong to this section of the society and you are doing this work which belongs to another section of the society, like that. But he was a courageous person. I always appreciate him. And now when in 2014 our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has started the Swachh Bharat mission, because this was earlier started by the Mahatma Gandhi. So he has continued and he has launched on the 2nd of October of 2014. People have realized the importance of Swachhata, the cleanliness. And that's 40 years back, the story was renewed. So whenever you think of the social entrepreneurship, you think of the problems of the society, you provide the solution to the society. Here the success of any social entrepreneurship venture is based upon the kind of changes you have made in that society. Because society is very closely related to the environmental part, and that's why nowadays there's a term green entrepreneurship. It is very much in demand. So many green technology products are coming to save the environment. So we need to think in this direction. We need to understand the behavior. Problem in our society is that in majority of the states of India, I would like to say, especially in the northern part, this is my personal observation, I may be wrong, that the behavior of the society towards the entrepreneurs is very conservative. we normally don't appreciate the entrepreneurs. You get a job of 20,000, 25,000, we appreciate you. That, oh, okay, you in this multinational, you got this job. But if an entrepreneur is giving job to 10 people of 15,000 each or 20,000 each, we don't appreciate it. So first we need to change the behavior of the society also. And we blame the society, but we forget that we are the society. We are part of the society. We should first start accepting and giving respect to the entrepreneurs. In my institution, I organize every year 1 week entrepreneurship development program. In one session, I always honor one of my alumni who has started their venture. Because when students see that alumni, they get motivated. If you honor some big corporate professional, it's okay. But if anyone has been your student and they have started some venture, and if you are honoring them, because they are basically, emotionally attached with the institution. Anybody is emotionally attached with their alma mater. So if you honor them, this gives a good message to other students, and they get motivated to start their ventures. So we need to work towards this behavioral and attitudinal pattern of the society also. And this will change the behavioral and attitudinal pattern of the students also. So avenues are two. For any entrepreneur, avenues are two. Whether you work on the further innovation, where you work on the grassroots innovation, reverse innovation. So from where you start actually. The first aspect, which is very important, is the idea. You must have an excellent idea. As I told you in the beginning, any idea which is going to solve the problem, you have to search that idea. So there will be too many ideas in mind. If I will tell you, you will have too many ideas in mind. But what you have to do? You have to understand the concept behind every idea. Sometimes initially you go in a very excellent manner, but later on you get failed. Take the case of Tata Nano. Conceptually, that idea was one of the strongest ideas. When he saw that, okay, husband and wife is there, two small children are there, they are just having one scooter, standing below a tree in a rainy season. The idea has come that, okay, can we develop a car of 1 lakh rupees? Where a middle class family who cannot afford a car of 4 lakh, 5 lakh rupees can afford it and can get the same facilities which a normal car has. Idea was excellent. Only thing which they lack, they realized later on that they were failed to find out the aspiration of the common man. But on this front, the idea which was discovered, all of a sudden maybe a distant idea also. The concept wise, if you have to see that whether your concept is okay or not. I've given you one example of Flipkart or Amazon. The concept was good. The 3C models, convenience, choice, and cost. I always used to say to all my startup students, the 4-point mantra, that is, think big, start small, grow gradually, and grow globally. Think big. Your vision should be big, but start small. To minimize your risk, grow gradually. Don't grow abruptly because that will create more risk for you. Take a risk, but it should be a calculated risk. And grow globally. Now, what is the market for you? If you take these examples of Flipkart or Amazon like examples, what is that? They have big vision, but they started small. Amazon and Flipkart started by selling the online books. Flipkart just started with 4 lakh rupees, 2 partners. And they grown gradually. They started adding on the product, and now you are seeing the presence and grow globally. So concept is important. Whatever you are thinking, what is the basic concept? It should not be an abrupt. What should be the basic concept? And then you have to develop and test it accordingly. Because see, in any innovation, nowadays a term is being used, which is called a design innovation. design thinking and design innovation. Where your behavior and skill and your attitude, all this combines together to create an entrepreneurial venture. So there are three important ingredients you must remember. First is very important, the technological feasibility. Whatever technology you are using, that should be feasible. I'm giving you a case. Now, I first give you these three challenges, then I will give you a case. Technological feasibility, the desirability of the customer in the consumer behavior, and viability of the business model. These three helix should match with each other. Technology, feasibility of technology, desirability of customer, and viability of business. I'll give you one case study, you can understand this. You must have heard the name of one of the very prominent matrimonial portal of India, Shadi.com. It was started in around 98 by Anupam Mittal, one of the NRI. And he has studied the Indian society. And entrepreneur needs to be very keen observer. You need to understand the society, how the society is moving. That's why you can understand the behavior of the society as such. He understood that society is fragmented. Earlier it was a joint family. Then a nuclear family started coming at that time. Now I'm talking about 24 years back story. And now you are seeing it as ultra nuclear family. Mother is working somewhere else, father is working somewhere else, daughter is studying or working somewhere else, son is working. Means the entire family is not on one place. And he has realized that still in India, there are many families who want to have an arranged marriage for their children. So they started this study. But do you know, at first instance, this entire venture was failed. Because he was unable to understand that you're creating a database of boys, database of girls. It's very easy for a matchmaking. You can do it conveniently. Later on, he realized when he studied the things, he has found that in India, the consent of the parent is a very important part. In any arranged marriage, the consent of the parent is very important part. He was expecting from the point of view of the boys and girls, okay, they will match with each other and they will marry. But this is in Indian, maybe in American society, but in India, this is a situation different. Here, it's a custom that we take the consent of our parents. So parents were not aware of these technological aspects. That time, this smartphone, all these things were not there. Laptop was there, desktop was there. So they realized that they need to have a hybrid model. So they started Shadi Point. That was one of the kiosks where the parents can go physically, and on the portals their matchmaking took place, and then they were realized, okay, this is the perfect match for them. They pay for that and then take the lead and contact directly to the concerned person. This has worked, and this has worked for around 7-8 years. And when this Android technology has come, the smartphone has started coming, when internet access has started increasing, this kind of apps become popular. So if you see the real development of entire e-commerce modes, you'll find within the last 10 years this has happened in a much tremendous way because of the smartphone. Now we are discussing, we are talking with each other on the Google platform. It's only because of the smartphone. I'm speaking on the smartphone. You may be listening me on the smartphone. Because earlier it was not possible. So technological feasibility is important because that should match with the desirability of the customer. So there, the customer was not just that boys and girls, but rather their parents. Because parents were the ultimate people who were taking the decision to whom my girl or my boy should, my daughter or my son should marry. That was the society, that society. Now the society has changed. The scenario has changed. You have to keep on changing the innovations as per the demand of the society. And accordingly, you need to develop the business model. Because any innovation, in any entrepreneurial venture depends upon the demand and supply. That this controls. I will give another example. Naukri.com, which has also started at the same time by Mr. Harish Chandani. He was IIM Ahmedabad graduate. At that time, he has realized that in future, the job market is going to be very tough. And I still remember I passed my MBA from in 1990 from BHU, FMS BHU, Faculty of Management BHU. At that time, we have to send the biodata through post office. We have to wait for that. It was a very long, time-taking process. We have to go to interview for Mumbai, Delhi. This was the situation. We have to look after all the pages of the newspaper where the advertisement is coming. There was less job at that time the session was taking place. So he has also passed in around 1991 from IIM. So he realized this issue. Later on, after 95, this World Wide Wave, www has come in India, internet has entered in India. At that time, taking the server was a very tough task. He has taken the first server from the USA. So he has created this platform, virtual platform, Naukri.com. And again, he has worked on that 3C model. Choice, employer were having the choice of employees were having the choice of employer. Convenience was there, you just place your resume, they will contact you, or they will send you the notifications to contact you. And obviously your cost is being saved. Likewise, I will give you one example of the B2B portal IndiaMart. IndiaMart is one of the very prominent B2B portal where they have provided the database of all sort of the vendors, suppliers, distributors, institutional customers, manufacturers, raw material suppliers. So physically, in one company I was there as a general manager. I remember this was the case of again 96, 97. We have to physically move to various places to see the vendors, to meet with the vendors, to purchase the machines and all these things. But with these kind of portals, at least this becomes easier for us to do the screening of the vendors, choose few vendors, negotiate with them, and then before finalization of the machine, even we can see the demonstration also online. But yes, for our satisfaction, we can go, but just one place. So this is what, again, choice, convenience, and cost. I will take the example of two travel portals. You must be using that, Yatra and Make My Trip. Earlier days, when you have to go to any place, using first, we are using a train, going to some place, the first very important task was to search for the hotel. And it takes around 1 hour, 2 hours, because you are not aware of the hotel, you are not aware of the city. Now on the single platform, you are having the hotels also, you are having the taxis also, you have the flights also, you are having the trains also, whatever you want. Take the case of Zomato and Swiggy. Again, they have created these kind of aggregators, create as a new concept, cloud kitchen. There are so many housewives, they know how to make a good food, but they don't have enough money to open the restaurant. Now, this has generated an ecosystem for development of these micro women entrepreneurs. Because those who are buying through the Swiggy or Zomato, they are buying because of the taste of the food. They are not much concerned about the ambience and all these things. They don't want to wait for 1 hour or 2 hours or half an hour in any restaurant. So this has created another opportunity again on that 3C model, the choice, convenience, and cost. I will take one example of a government website, IRCTC. We all use it. Earlier days, what was tough task. I remember when I had to go to Mumbai for my summer internship during the MBA program. I'm talking about 1989. At that time, we have to do a manual reservation from Varanasi to Mumbai. take a manual ticket. Then in Mumbai, when we came to VT, Victoria Terminal, at that time CST was called VT. Then again we stand in the long queue to take a return reservation for after 2 months, because in summer season you must be knowing there is a lot of rush in the Mumbai trains. Now within a couple of minutes you can take the reservation. You are having a choice of the berth, choice of train, choice of timing, even choice of cost also. Convenience is there, and obviously your cost is being saved. You don't have to spoil your entire day. Take the case of Oyo rooms. You must be knowing it's the largest chain of hotel without having their own hotel. They concentrate on two issues of the consumer or customers. One is that you all know, whenever you go to any place, normally we don't stay in the hotel in the daytime. We stay in the night, whether for the tourism purpose or for some professional purpose. So there should be a good night stay, air conditioned room in a reasonable, affordable cost. This was the one thing which they took care of. And second, normally daytime we don't have any fixed time for taking the food, taking the lunch. So they started providing a complimentary breakfast, so that you can take a heavy breakfast and you can spend your entire time in traveling. You won't have any problem. Again, your choice is there, your convenience is there, cost is saved. Take a taxi, Ola or Uber. Although this kind of services weren't earlier. You need to contact some travel agency to book the taxi. But if suppose in night at 10 o'clock you want a taxi, the travel agency has been closed, the time is over, if there's a lot of problem. Now with such kind of facilities, these aggregators provide you a lot of options. You're having a choice of taxis. The convenience is there, you can book it. You can locate it also, where these taxis are there, and how much time it will take to come to you, 10 minutes, 15 minutes or like that. So what I want to say that you need to understand this entire phenomenon, how these things are moving on. Newer opportunities are arising in the field of the green entrepreneurship, as I've told you. And normally the sustainable development is much talked about today. This works on the 3P bottom line approach. What is that? People, planet and profit. From very beginning, for any entrepreneur, it has been told, and it's true also, that you should focus upon the profit part. But doing all these things, we have forgotten the planet and people. We are cutting the trees and we are purchasing the oxygen cylinder. Recently in COVID, we have seen last 2 years. There was no medicine. There is no medicine. Only medicine is that you have to increase your immunity power. And we have reduced our immunity because we have played with the environment. So you must understand. And here the entrepreneurial opportunities are arising. And this works on basically 3R approach: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Products are being made on these 3 aspects, either to reduce the polluted aspects, or to reuse a product, or a recycle. You may be hearing about the recycled papers and all this. Reusing of the waste waters. So newer and newer aspects are coming, newer and newer avenues are coming in the field of the green technology and green entrepreneurship. So whether it's, as we discussed about the electric cars, now the electric buses are running here and there, electric autos, Toto we call here in Varanasi, it's running. focus on the green chemistry, means using the colors which are basically the made from the phytochemicals, means the colors derived from the plants. Because in the textile industry, now in the Western countries, uh, the demand for those clothes where dyes are made from the organic colors, because they are having an issue with the synthetic color. They get rashes, they are allergic to that. A lot of scope is there in the renewable energy sector, the biofuels, the hydroelectrics, biomass, the bagasse-based power plants, biogas power plants. Gentrifies is still working very well. 20 to 30% of the gentrifies is being used as a biodiesel in any diesel. So these kind of things are arising, and we need to just pick up those things. Another area which I would like to focus here, in 2020, when first lockdown was started, you must be remembering, you may have seen on the television that people started coming back from the metropolitan cities to their native place, their villages, especially people from the UP, Bihar, and Jharkhand, and other parts of North India. This has created a big question mark in my mind that after around more than 70 years of our freedom, around 75 years of freedom, people are earning money in these big cities from 5 years, 10 years. But what is this position that they don't have money for their survival for next 2, 3 months? Just to save their life, they are coming back to their villages. It's mean there is some flaw in our entire development model. And what is that flaw? What we did actually, we created the different islands of development in the name of the metropolitan cities, grade A cities, grade B cities, like that. And we left our entire villages from that development process. You must know that 65 to 70% people still live in villages in India. And agriculture is a very important aspect. So what we need to do, what we need to understand, for an inclusive growth in this entire development process, we need to include our villages, our villagers. If you see the classical definition of any composition of any entrepreneur, we say that person must have a land, labor, capital, risk-taking ability, and entrepreneurial ability. Every farmer is a micro entrepreneur. They are having the land, they employ their own labor, they employ their own capital. Who take more risk than a farmer? Only thing which the farmer lacks is the entrepreneurial ability. And here, I would like to suggest to all my young friends who are doing MBA and BTech, like that, or other streams, they should join hand with the farmers. Because you are having the ability to manage the business and they are having the ability to grow the product. I will give you one case study, you can understand this. Mr. Kaushal Kumar, he has been the graduate of IIM Ahmedabad. He basically belongs to Patna. After he has got so many jobs, he was a topper, no doubt. You know the prestige of IIM Ahmedabad. But he left all these jobs and came back to his hometown. He studied somewhere that on an average in big cities, we take 3 to 5 kilogram of toxic materials every year to various means. Maybe water, maybe air, maybe through the food materials, fruits and vegetables, insecticide and pesticides and all these things. So what he did? He has shaken hand with the farmers and said that you grow the organically grown fruit and vegetables, and I will give you a buyback guarantee. He has picked all these organically grown fruit and vegetables and started supplying door-to-door basis. You will be surprised to know that today 40,000 farmers' family of Bihar and Jharkhand are associated with his organization Kaushalya Foundation. You can search on the Google also. With MBA Sabjiwala. Communication result by name, the name of MBA Sabjiwala. अब see, he has helped in the development of the rural entrepreneurship, agro entrepreneurship, even a women entrepreneurship on the macro level, and created a chain for that. This kind of business model is required for us to strengthen our village. We should not forget what Mahatma Gandhi ji has said about the Grama Swarajya. He has given the concept of Grama Swarajya. Means the village should be self-sufficient. Concept was that. Village should be self-sufficient. So if we are growing all these things in villages and every farmer's family gets satisfied money, why they will go to outside? The kind of life they are living in big cities, we all know. So we have to understand that where is the possibility, where one should go, how one should go. Lot of potential is there. Lot of potential is there in the rural areas. Only thing is that we need to explore all these potentials. So on the one hand, we need to grow our rural entrepreneurship also, agro entrepreneurship also. On the other hand, we need to work on the technology front also. You are having ample opportunity in the B2B models, e-commerce sites, B2C, C2C, C2B. 250 apps recently, you must be knowing, in the last 2 years, 250 Chinese apps has been banned by the government of India. But we need to fulfill the human aspiration. Those who are using these Chinese apps, their aspiration is there. Why we cannot make that kind of app? Recently, I got a news that our mustard oils and all these things are being, edible oils, these are being imported from the Ukraine. Why not in India? Why we cannot do all these things in India? In the business process outsourcing or the knowledge process outsourcing, all the LPUs, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, all these things are industry 4.0, we say, to make the industry digitalized, smart. This is what we are talking about in industry 4.0, the fourth revolution of the industry. Don't technology I have just given you. Lot many opportunities are arising in the education softwares because now the UC has also said that you need to work on the hybrid mode. So, what you should do? Remember, the entrepreneurial mindset comprises of two parts. One is the self-starter, and second is called the self-manager. So you need to have both kind of mindset. You need to be a keen observer. You need to see in the society what is happening. Issues that we are less in the society, more on the social media. Social media is good, no doubt. But we need to be within the society. Because any entrepreneurial opportunities which is coming, which is arising, is for the society to fulfill the need of the society. So please be in the society, be a keen observer. And when any idea comes in your mind, ask 4 questions. First question, what is the problem to which you are going to solve through your idea. Problem identification is the first thing. I've given you all the examples, so many examples I've given you. They are focused on one problem or two problems or multiple problems associated with each other. Second thing, you need to ask yourself whether your idea is going to provide a sufficient solution for that problem or not. So it's just like a lock and key relationship. If lock is the problem, the key is the solution. So your idea should be like a key. Don't become a master key, because every customer has different demand sets. So try to customize your solution. And third, very important aspect, that whether the customer is ready to pay for your solution or not. Because whatever you are charging, your values, whatever value addition you are doing, it should be delivered in that way, so that the customer should get a proper justification from your product, that okay, now your product is properly justifying, or your service is properly justifying the price. So again, I'm telling you, you have to tell them that okay, this is the problem, this is the solution, and my product and service is trying to solve it. And fourth, very important part, that whether your customer is repeatedly buying your product or not, means retention is there or not, loyalty is there or not, and telling others also. Because entire marketing sphere, if you see, there are two hemispheres. One is the transactional marketing, and second is the relationship marketing. Transaction marketing, we do try to find out the need, wants, provide the products and service and all these things and get the satisfaction. But everybody is trying to satisfy. So they may retain with you, but they may not be loyal with you. There is a difference. They are purchasing product from your shop, but they may purchase the product from other shops also. You need to move from retention to the beginning of the loyalty. Means they will purchase product only from your shop. They will purchase only your brand. Because when you gain the loyalty, the loyal customer is your best brand ambassador. You need not to go for a celebrity. And the best thing is that when they will be loyal to you, they will do the advocacy of your product and services to others. They will tell others that okay, you should buy. And even if a big celebrity is endorsing any product or service, you will first believe on your brother, your sister, your friends, your relatives, who says that I'm having experience of this product. This product is I'm having a good experience or a bad experience, whatever. So you need to work in this direction. Whatever your ideas is there, first you identify this, and then you must have the concept validation as I told in the beginning. You need to validate the concept, do some demo plans, and ultimately take the customer validation, because customer is important. You are not making the product for yourself. You are making the product for your customers. So have the validation of your customers. Because in entire innovation management process, your idea needs to have a project justification. Only then you develop and scale up. One thing I would like to say, that as I was giving you the example of the rural entrepreneurship, we are having one misconception, I can say, that farmers are economically poor, so they will be idea-wise poor also. This is not the truth. Now, I will try to combine this behavior, skill, and attitude part of the entrepreneurship and innovation with one case study. You can understand them. You must be knowing about the Kirloskar pump. Kirloskar agriculture pump is, market leader in that area. Again, it's a story 20 years back. The team of Kirloskar agriculture pump went to a village for the installation of a pump. One farmer had asked a very innocent question that, sir, if our television can have a remote control, can your agriculture pump have a remote control? Because we don't know when it comes, when it goes. It comes in late night in the winter season. We have to go for the irrigation purpose in the field, and it has a lot of problem. So if anyhow we have this remote control, we can control the on and off of our pump from our home, and this will reduce our time also and problems also. So people started laughing on that farm. How it is possible? Not possible. But Kirloskar people took it very seriously. They reported this issue to their research and development department. And they developed a Kirloskar mobile pump control. This is still there. You can search on the Google also. But again, as I've told you, that innovation is a dynamic process for any entrepreneur. It's not a static process. So although this pump control was developed, but issue was that it was battery operated, so it was having a certain limitation of distance. As you must be knowing, you must be using the remote control in your home also. So another leading company from Coimbatore, the Taxmo Pump, they started working on that part. And they developed a GSM mobile auto pump control. Now with your smartphone, even if the pump is located in the remotest part of the country or world, you can control it. This is an excellent example of a design innovation, as I told you in the beginning. Because what happens, when you understand the feasibility of the technology, here in the case of Taxmo, they have done the feasibility of the technology with the help of the smartphone. And you understand the human values, usability and desirability, what will happen? Then the design and interactivity of the technology takes place. You design the technology accordingly. But for that, you have to understand the behavioral aspects. You need to have that technological skill to design the product, but you need to understand the behavior attitude of the consumer. And when you develop your business model accordingly, your manufacturing process changes. But to fulfill that business viability, you need to develop your human resource. And for that purpose, you need a very specific kind of automation behavior. So entire design thinking process, which is based upon the behavior and attitude and coupled by the skill, moves through the 6 steps. I will take the example of this pump and then I will narrate you. First step is the empathy. You must be knowing this term. Empathy means to put your leg in other shoes, means to understand the other position from your point of view. In Hindi, there is an excellent term for that, samvedana. Understanding the pain of others as your own pain. Maybe in other languages also a similar kind of word will be there. So first step is to empathize and second is to define. So here the Kirloskar people has empathized the problem of the farmer and defined the issues. These 2 steps comes from the understanding part. Empathize, define. Then we move to a next 2 step, which is called the exploration part. Ideate. When you empathize certain problem, define the issues. I've given an example of the Shadi.com, I've given an example of the Naukri.com, I've given an example of the Kaushalya Foundation. They have empathized and defined the issues. Then the idea, here in the case of Kirloskar, the idea has come from fortunately from the farmer's mind. That's why I've told you that farmers are not idea-wise weak. They may be economically weak. So idea may be coming from anywhere. So we call it open innovation. You welcome all the ideas. Even in my classroom when I teach, I invite ideas from my students and they give me very excellent ideas. So never underestimate anyone. Idea can come from anywhere. So ideate. And next 4th part is the prototype. 4th step is the prototype. You develop a small model and to test the market. So it's not that the Kirloskar or Texmo has started with 1 lakh pumps and they've launched it. No, they just started with small prototype, 2, 4, 5 pumps, and they test the market. What kind of things they are observing and what kind of improvisation that product is needed. And next two step is to materialize means test, observe the result, improvise it, and last materialize it means launch it on a higher scale. So in any entrepreneurial journey, this idea needs to move through this process of design thinking, empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test, and implement, which depends upon the behavior and attitude of your customer. So you have ample of idea, you have to ample of idea, but you need to screen it out to few points. What is the market need? Do the cost benefit analysis, how much cost is being involved and how much benefit a person is getting from your point of view also and from the customer's point of view also. What is its technical feasibility and whether this is having a strategic fit or not. Only then you launch. But for that, you need to develop a proper innovation ecosystem in your organization. As an entrepreneur, you need to have a people with the required skills, leadership. They must have an accountability, and you have to recognize them also because they want recognition. You need to support it with the process. Do the experimentation, allow them to do the experimentation, allow them to use the latest technology. You need to be little bit liberal to develop the innovation ecosystem. And this should be supported with the policy, means a proper strategy, proper measure, proper governance. And this will create a complete innovation climate. So you need to work in that way. And don't forget to make a proper business plan. Majority of cases when the entrepreneurs fails, they fail because they were not having any business plan. As you must be knowing that if you go for making a big building, first what you do, you have a architectural plan to save the place, space, make it more effective, more lucrative, more attractive. So you need to work on your business plan. Make a complete planning for your marketing, your production, your operational aspects, sales aspects, whatever, supply chain, everything. First, you write down on your paper one by one and do your SWOT analysis. What are your strength areas? What are your weaknesses area? What are the opportunities available in the market? What are the threats? Develop your managerial skills, technical skills, human or people skills accordingly. Many times, my student also asks me questions that I am having a new brand. How people will come to know about that? See, normally the brand is divided into two parts, the hard and soft part. Hard part is there is no name, logo, your vision, slogan, and all these things. But we normally ignore the soft part. What is that? Your service delivery mechanism. This will make you a brand. Uniqueness, your innovative values, your transcendence, your positioning, your consistency, your credibility. So these things are important because if you see the entire brand attribute scale, no doubt the brand should be simple, honest, it should be reliable, it should be smart, it should be speedy, it should have connectivity. But above all, it should be a problem solver. It should be innovative because the brand power comes from the brand equity and the brand equity comes from your brand innovation and brand innovation comes from the brand solution. Brand solution comes from the brand quality of product or services. If your quality is bad, you're not going to get success. So this is the way the brand advocacy go through your brand stories. As I've given you few stories, this is a way of brand advocacy. See, we are suffering through a very tough phase now. We call it a VUCA phase. VUCA means V for volatility, U for uncertainty, C for complexity, and A for ambiguity. So we need to be very careful. Take the help of incubation centers. I hope in your college also there must be an incubation center. If it is not there, please start it. I will help you in that because this will give you a primary advice to all the students. Gives the advice of the mentoring, the technical assistance. You need to protect your intellectual property right also, like your patents, your design patents, your trademarks, your copyrights. Trademark is a very important part to save your brand name and the geographical indicators. Because the incubators helps you to have the marketing expertise, the financial expertise. They will also help you in networking part. If you are having a government funded incubation center, then you can provide the spaces also. So you will have a shared operational cost. So inexpensive places will be there, workplaces will be there. Since people are having a proper networking, so they will help you in getting the seed fundings also and access to the angel investors also. So these things are there. And there are so many things. Now you can finance your business through the bootstrapping also, means the self-financing, crowdfunding, commercial banks are there. Some specialized banks are also there, like SIDBI for Small Industrial Development Bank of India. For rural entrepreneurs, NABARD is there, National Bank of Agriculture and Rural Development. So many NBFCs are there. Private equity and venture capital angel investors are there, but they invest money on a already running idea, which is running successfully, and if they are facing any problem. So you need to work on that part. And IPR, again, I'm telling you, IPR is very important part. Because many times you invest so much of money in development of your intellectual property, but if you're not protected it through the IPR, you've not registered your trademark and all these things. So obviously it will be used by someone else, and your entire efforts get wasted. So first protect your brand through the production of your trademarks. If you are having a patent, have a patent for that. And if you are having uh, suppose your website is there. So this matter is a part of your copyright. So please protect it. Otherwise, other people will just copy and paste, and they will say that you are copying their matter. And geographical indicators, you must be knowing, there are some products which are being known by the places, like Darjeeling tea. Like here, I live in Varanasi, the Banarsi sari, you must be knowing. So these products are being known by that place. So although this kind of right is not given individually, but yes, this kind of things are happening. And recently, I'm talking about the Uttar Pradesh government. For Honorable Chief Minister Yogi ji is doing well for the development, industrial development of the state. So he has launched one scheme of ODUP, one district, one product. Means from every district, one specialty product has been picked up, and entrepreneurial ecosystem has been tried to develop that. Like in Varanasi, Varanasi Sadi, nearby Bhadoi, the carpet belt is there, like that. So this model is being now spread up all over India basis. So this is also creating a lot of ecosystem to generate a proper promotion of the people. So
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
because now time is nearly over, I would like to have a question answer session also for 10 15 minutes.
Yes, yes, sir. Our students are ready with some questions.
I would like to have one shloka for all of you that the main hisanti karyani namamurthe nahi saptasya samvasya pravishanti mukhe virga means everything only with your hard work, not daydreaming. Because even the lion has to hunt a deer, they have to work hard for it. So thank you very much for your patience listening. And if you have any question, you can ask me.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So there are a few questions on the chat box. Uh, there's one question from MA Economics. She's saying how to deal with failures in one's entrepreneurial journey.
Hmm. Very good question. I always suggest that Don't just read the success stories, rather read the failure stories. Success and failure are not the opposite word, they are actually part of it. Any entrepreneur journey is full of failures. So I've given you one formula that think big but start small. See, risk is inevitable in any business. You cannot say risk will not be there. Only thing is that we need to take a calculated risk. We need to move step by step. We can minimize our failure. And even if one failure is there, you need to learn from it, remove it. And that's why in any entrepreneur journey, the iteration and reiteration is very important part. That's why I used to say grow gradually. Because every region, every product, every customer is having its own requirements. So whether you are moving in the right direction or not, this is very important. That's why I quoted about the incubation center because incubation centers provide you proper advice at every step. And being a startup, this is not possible for you to hire a full-time consultant because they are very costly. But if you are taking the help of incubation centers, as I am present in the incubation center of IM Kashipur, and four startup I have produced from there, and two are in pipeline. So what happens when they start the things? Actually, when you start a business, the real issues started coming to you, especially when you scale up, because you are doing a business on a small scale, it's okay. But when you scale up, suppose you are working in 3, 4 districts, it's okay. But when you start operating on a state level, then everything has to be scaled up. And real issues comes which I've seen in my corporate journey also and as a mentor also, that your cash flow is first affected. And we normally calculate arithmetically that okay, if I will put 20 lakh rupees in the market, next month I will get the 20 lakh rupees. This doesn't happen. You will put 20 lakh rupees and next month you will get 10 lakh rupees. And they will ask for another order of 20 lakh rupees. So how to get uh, aware of all these things and get out of all this situation, you need to have a very balanced financial control for that. So step by step, if you move, you can minimize your risk and you can avoid the failures. I hope I'm clear to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. So just one more question that what measures the government is taking to promote entrepreneurship?
As I've told you in the beginning, the biggest issue before any entrepreneur, since I've also run so many organizations as a CEO, especially in the medium enterprises, you won't believe that I was taking care of 27 government departments. So 26 days are there in a month to work, and I have to take care of 27 departments. So how difficult for any entrepreneur it is. But now, with the coming of the GST era, so many department has been reduced. Government is making so many things online, making e-governance very important. That's why I have given you one data that on the ease of doing business, this is one of the index of how easy one can start a business in one country. The our position has improved from 142 to 63 now, but still it's a long way to go. And there is another example I've given you of the one district, one product, ODOP. So this is one aspect. In Atmanirbhar Bharat, so many packages has been announced by the government for the startups. You go to the Startup India site, you will find so many schemes over there. So now a temporary license will be given for you within 90 days, and then you have to submit a document within 1 year. So such kind of things government is trying to do on the financial fronts. Also, the Mudra Bank is doing well. Only thing is that we are having a lack of awareness. So we need to work on that part, go to the different ministries site and explore all these things. In every district, there is a DIC, Industry Center. So please meet with the officers of the DIC. They will tell you the latest schemes of that. Go to the SIDB. They are having so many schemes for the small organizations. Go to the NABARD. They will tell you all these schemes about what they are having for the rural entrepreneurs. Go to the Khadi Gramodaya board. They are having so many schemes for the small entrepreneurs. So only thing is that we need to little bit aware of all these things. Government is doing having so many schemes. Problem is that we are not knowing about that. So we need to aware about that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such an interactive session. Now I invite our Vice President of the Innovation Cell, Dr. Indu Arora, to say a few words. Indu, ma'am.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. Sir, I'm very thankful to you for such an insightful session. And I'm also extremely thankful to you for your offer for helping us in setting up incubation unit. And we will certainly look forward to you for starting this. I'm also thankful to the organizing team, Madam Chris, Dr. Amardeep, Miss Santi, and Miss Sonadi for being there and arranging this event so meticulously. Once again, thanks, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite Dr. Amandeep to give a formal vote of thanks. Thank you, sir. And students, can you please switch on your cameras? We can have a group picture. Yes, Anjali, our students. Can we have more students? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks again, sir. Thank you, Indu ma'am. Thank you, students. Thank you all.
Thank you,
Have a great
madam.
day.
Thank you. Namaskar.